All right, Terminator 2,
Terminator 2.
Judgment Day. So we both watched this movie, and I think we have split opinions on it.
Well, we had split opinions on the first one, too.
Yeah, you liked the first one more.
Yeah, I like the first one. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 or 9 out of 10, maybe,
Yeah.
on the rating scale. But yeah, the second one, Judgment Day, it felt different from the very beginning.
Didn't like it, though.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into it, because I had the opposite opinion. I thought it was really good, and I didn't think the first one was that good. To be honest, when I think of Terminator, this is the movie I think of.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was the more successful movie. But we can get into that. So, I mean, this movie was intense from the jump.
From the jump. So it's the Terminator 1 was 1984. This is 1991. So 7 years passed.
7 years.
Which is a pretty good amount of time, considering that, I'm assuming that one was really successful when it took off. And for 7 years later, that's a pretty good amount of time in between films there.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, was that time all spent on making this? Because the CGI was a lot better in this movie.
A lot. I noticed that from the very beginning because it kind of, started off the same going to the 2029 in LA, and just the way that the machines were flying and the gunshots and the soldiers kind of getting blown up. I mean, it was elevated from the beginning, which I appreciated.
I did too. It made it more realistic, obviously, and 7 years to work on a movie, it better look a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, and it was I think it was 30 or 40 minutes longer too. Which
that was.
We'll get into the runtime a little bit. I think the movie could have ended sooner, and I think there was just a lot of extra fluff in this one that could have been avoided potentially. But we'll get into that. But either way, shout out to the subscribers.
Shout out
if
to
you're
you
watching
guys.
the video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, follow us on Spotify. We appreciate you guys, and we do enjoy doing these movie reviews.
Absolutely.
I think we need to start doing some more.
We'll keep them coming.
At least once a month.
Definitely, because we both have a lot of opinions on movies, and it's something that the audience has enjoyed, and we can share something because you guys can watch it at home after and give us your opinion too.
Yeah, and we're not watching Dr. Dolittle.
Well,
we're watching movies that kind of have somewhat to do with what we also talk about in our other episodes, whether it's related to AI or, global takeover, bad actors in our world. Because there's a lot of subliminal messaging and hidden agendas, obviously through Hollywood and entertainment, which we talk a lot about already. And so to kind of see how that plays out in some of these movies and talk about it, I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and before we even dig into it a little bit, shout out to Austin Till. He's our
Austin Till, #1 listener.
Yeah, he's in the 0.8% of JOJ listeners.
Yeah, #1 listener, Spotify Rap.
We'll probably get him on this podcast too, so you guys can see he's our #1 loyal listener. And honestly, let's just go ahead and say we're sponsored by Pixatine, the original nicotine toothpick, winter ice, made in the USA. I use these toothpicks all the time. I don't use Zens. They're too intense, and it gives me a stomach ache. These are easy. You can put them in, get a little bit of nicotine. It's 3 milligrams, right?
And it's kind of badass having a toothpick in. If you're with a girl, you can pluck that lettuce out of your tooth gap.
And it's inconspicuous. People don't think you got a couple.
You're getting buzzed by a toothpick.
Exactly. So just a little bit of the opening here. August 29th, 1997, Judgment Day. 3 billion die.
Which is probably half the population at that time.
And so the survivors call the war Judgment Day. So people survived, 3 billion. So we had some survivors here. And it kind of goes in, you see John Connor in the future.
Yeah, he's got the scar on his face.
Yeah.
Which I guess that happens at some point. I don't know when.
And you could just see the command that he was the guy. They saluted him. Every time he was walking through the barracks or the tunnels, they made sure to salute him.
Yeah.
Because he's their hero and he's the leader of the resistance.
But they also seem kind of calm. I don't know if you remember that at the beginning. Obviously there was resistance troops that were going out there fighting, and then they show the people in the tunnels. and they're just walking.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't really know how the battle is going. We don't really know how the battle's going. But it just seemed like it wasn't like, guys, run, get down.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Okay, I'm just going to look through binoculars at the spaceship, right in front of me.
And I guess, and we come to find out these spaceships are unmanned.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the movie, Terminator kind of explains more about what ends up happening, where they come up with this guy, Dyson. He comes up with this microprocessor, and then it's like literally like 3 weeks later, it becomes the main processor for all the military installations and equipment. And they found out, and this was cool because it relates to things that are happening right now. They said that now these helicopters and stealth bombers are all unmanned objects in Terminator movie, and they're actually way more successful than human beings. And I was just like, all right, this movie's kind of spot on. Because that's happening now with the drones and the fighter pilots. They're the most successful ones, the ones that are unmanned.
Yeah. I mean, and we already have, unmanned cars, the Waymo.
Yep.
So it's here.
It's here. So I guess the movie starts off with a little bit of similar to the first one, where it starts off wartime, and then it goes to Arnold spawning.
Yeah.
And if y'all don't remember, in Terminator 1, Arnold was the bad guy.
Yeah.
So this threw me for a whole loop because I thought he was still the bad guy.
No.
Because he's the good guy.
And before they cut to Arnold spawning, Sarah Connor's kind of giving the spiel where she talks about, the nuclear fire and the 3 billion people that are dead. And then she goes on to explain that 2 Terminators are sent back in time.
Yep.
And she's unsure of the intentions of the Terminators, but she knows that one of them will be there to protect. Yeah. And so, obviously they show Arnold, and it is like carbon copy from the first movie, where it's like they land, they go find someone to ask for their clothes, and he ends up, killing like 4 of these bar guys, gets a motorcycle. And then you can kind of tell at this point, and this is what was kind of hard for me, because they explained in the first one that these machines are they can learn. They learn as they go. And so I kept kind of thinking back to the original Terminator, the dialogue and the way that it's interpreting and analyzing things. But you can tell that this one's a little bit more updated.
Yeah,
and it's
definitely
more efficient and more humanish.
And that happens in later part of the movie where Arnold explains that he learns more the more he's around humans.
Yes.
And by the end of the movie, he's saying, "Hasta la vista, baby." And his language has changed.
And so that's one of my first bones to pick.
You didn't like that?
I think it was a little too emotional. Like, I think the Terminator became a little too emotional. But, you're kind of watching, especially during the fight scenes. I think they did a really good job during the fight scenes of, like, being robotic and the way they fall over and the way they get up and the way they kind of start running. I thought that was, like, you got to stay in character. That's probably pretty hard to do. So I thought that was good.
Yeah, great acting.
Yes.
To act like a robot like that.
But then, like, as the conversation started happening and, John, like, really befriends him, and then Sarah starts referring to him as, like, a father figure.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you're kind of losing me a little bit. I didn't really enjoy that part of the movie.
Yeah, and I think that's the part where it's confusing because, you develop the relationship with Arnold because he's protecting you. And yeah, she did have a little like moment where she was watching him load up all the stuff when they're at that place near Mexico getting all the weapons. And she's like comparing him to a man, like he's the best man we'll ever have. He's robotic. He doesn't leave when things get tough and things like that. But that's a little bit further gone. The beginning scene, Arnold, leather jacket, walks up to the bar. And what I liked more about Terminator 2 than 1 was his point of view display with the red. There was more of that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool. And he goes in butt naked into the bar. And that's an iconic scene.
Yeah.
Where he like walks up to the guy and what does he say? He's like, "I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle."
Yeah.
And the guy's smoking. He's like, What
he
did
didn't. He's like, you forgot to say please, and like ashes out his cigar like on his chest, and
blows the smoke.
Squeezes his hand, snaps his hand, and turns into this fight. And these people end up like backing off. He takes his clothes, he gets on the motorcycle, and then the bar manager comes out. He's like, shh, I'm not gonna let you take his bike too. And he just walks up, takes the shotgun, takes the sunglasses, gets on the bike, and now he's like on the hunt.
Bad to the Bone plays too.
Yeah, it felt very like early 90s.
Yeah.
Like even with, kind of fast forwarding to the arcade scene,
the
way everyone's dressed, and he was in his garage of his John was in the garage of his foster parents, blasting some music too. It's like, this is definitely like the 90s.
90s. Friend has a mullet, not leather, but denim jean jacket.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. But yeah, so he steals the bike, and at this point, like, I'm still a little confused. I think he's the villain, Terminator. Just from my perspective, it was a little confusing, but then you're right. You brought up John. So they go to John, and he's in the garage, and this is the first time you're introduced to John Connor, because the first movie doesn't show him, and he is a rebellious kid.
Yeah.
Step parents, Todd
and Jeanne or something.
Something like that. What did
Angie,
he say?
Maybe.
Yeah, and so he, him and his buddy ride on the motorcycle, and they go. Oh no! They go inside, and the stepmom's like, Todd, go talk to him. He hasn't cleaned his room in 3 months.
He's like, this kid doesn't listen.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's like he tries to go, John, you need to go clean your, get your ass inside. He leaves like, you're not my
dad,
hey, your
Todd.
mom is telling you to go clean your room. He's like, she's not my real mom, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Runs off. But before that, we get the spawn of Terminator 2.
Oh, that's right.
The T-1000, I think is what they call it.
It might have been T-2000. No, I think you're right. I don't have that in my notes.
T1, maybe.
T-1000.
Yeah. And so that's, he spawns kind of in the same form that Arnold spawned, and a police officer shows up because he thinks there's like an electrical disturbance from all the sparks, and he kills him immediately. And then he turns into a cop. And so this is kind of where it because he's in the same uniform the entire time.
Yep. I mean, he morphs a bunch, and I think that was the biggest change. He was a liquid metal.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool way that they did that in the movie. And I thought it actually looked pretty good for CGI effects.
Yeah.
I thought that
was freaky.
Well done. Yeah, it was weird.
Because it felt like an unstoppable character. Like, how the fuck are we going to kill this thing?
Yeah. And even at the end, when you think he's done,
yeah, I know.
He melts
we'll
back
get
together.
into that. But
he looks like a creepy guy too.
Yeah, like very, clean shaven, bony face.
Looks a little psycho.
But I think it's interesting, and I wonder, why they decided to make him a cop. Do you think there's anything out of that? Because he was a cop the entire movie, but it wasn't like that was like a really big. I guess it kind of was a big part, especially when they get to the mental hospital and he just gets instant access. But
I think that's probably what it is. He's just immediately an authority figure. It makes it easier for him to accomplish his goal of killing John Connor.
Yeah.
Because he go to step parents' house.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, what'd he do again?
Yeah. And he's like, did someone come by earlier? He's like, yeah, big buff dude in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
And then he's like, do I need to know about this? He's like, no, don't worry about him.
Yeah. But even in the first one, the police play a big role.
They're all in the movie for sure.
And it just, yeah. So I don't know if that's like an appeal to authority type thing of like, people that we think to be the protectors end up being like maybe the harmers or the abusers, or people are kind of
definitely
hidden in plain sight type of thing.
Definitely, yeah, because that's why I think that's why the AI became the police officers, to convince people that he's a friend, a safe figure.
Yeah, that's fair.
So John ends up going to rig the ATM machine.
Yeah.
And I remember watching this when I was little. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
He's
and that was kind of a foreshadow with his kit that he had to find the PIN number.
Yeah. and he said he learned it from his mom.
Yeah.
And that was another moment where it comes back around. There's a lot of moments where this would not work now.
No.
Just camera technology.
Correct.
Like, you don't got a camera to see who, oh, there's someone robbing the ATM.
Yeah. The kid just sticking it in broad daylight.
Yeah, or even when at the kind of near the end, when Arnold and Sarah and John, they pull up to the gas station with the cop car and they roll it into the garage. It's like, all right, no one's going to, it's just like there's a more freedom to like commit crimes, not get caught.
Yeah. Where you're not living in the surveillance state that we live in 2025.
Great point, because that's actually a great point, actually, because I think if there is the surveillance state, that the AI just connects to it and they know like, oh yeah, we scanned his face, we scanned his gait, the way he walks.
Which is like Eagle Eye. You remember watching that, the Shia LaBeouf?
No.
You never seen Eagle Eye? Oh, okay. That'll be on our watch list.
Seen what is that?
Huh? Paranormal?
No, it's what movie is he in where he's like peeking through the blinds and Paranormal?
No.
I almost had a stroke right there.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Damn.
It's like a Rihanna song or something.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't remember that. That is a good movie too.
Leave a comment to figure that out. But no, so next part, Sarah Connor, she's introduced and we find out she's locked up, the insane asylum.
Yeah. Well, and that's what John Connor tells his buddy after they rob the ATM. He's like, hey, I learned this from my mom. And he's like, oh yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
She's at the mental hospital. She got shot and, she's a psycho. So he believes his mom is a psycho.
He 100% does.
And probably hates her, no father.
Mm-hmm.
He hates his foster parents. So he's a rebellious kid. And he's probably going to end up in like a life of just being a shithead,
Yeah.
without any, positive intervention. Sure. So then that's when they go to the arcade.
Oh, okay.
They're playing games, and his buddy goes to get more quarters, and the Terminator cop, asks him, hey, do you know who John Connor is?
Have you seen him?
Have you seen this kid? And he tells him no, and goes and tells John, he's like, hey, there's this cop asking around for you. You need to, you got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the hunt starts.
Definitely. Just one quick point about that too. I feel like what you said about him being maybe a shithead, you could look at it that way, or you could look that he's a resourceful, crafty kid at that age, and it would end up becoming the thing that ends up getting them the access card to get to the chip at the end of the movie. Was his ability to hack the thing. But even his friend was kind of cut from that same cloth, because, any kid nowadays, I feel like, yeah, that's my buddy. He's over there.
Yeah.
But he says no, and the chase begins. Iconic scene too when Arnold's walking through the mall with the shotgun and the rose case.
That was an iconic scene.
I thought they used slo-mo pretty good in this movie with Arnold.
And also, I don't know if you heard, whenever they showed a Terminator, they would play that kind of like ding ding. It sounded like metal was being like made. It was like boom boom.
A little
boom boom.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like the
metal heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly kind of what it felt like. And so every time they showed any type of the Terminator technology, boom boom.
Dang.
And I thought that was pretty cool too.
That is cool.
So yeah, they're starting the hunt. He's going through the back alleys of the mall, and he knows this guy is chasing him.
Yeah.
And he's running, and then all of a sudden Arnold is coming towards him, and he probably thinks that Arnold's going to kill him.
He has no clue what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, get down. Just starts blasting him with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And this is when this is the first fight scene, so we don't know what the T-100 or T-1000 is capable of in terms of how it defends itself.
Yeah, it's regeneration.
You're only probably thinking whatever happened in the first Terminator. Okay, you can kind of blast this thing, and he hits it, and it like puts like a huge hole in its thing, and it just goes.
Yeah.
And it just like, it's an alloy metal.
And it's scary, and so then they eventually get out of the mall and they get on the bike.
Well, John gets out. He ditches while the two Terminators are fighting.
Oh yeah.
And then John gets on his bike, and then the Terminators chasing after him and gets on that like wrecking truck.
And what happens to Arnold? He gets...
Well, he then gets on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
And they're going through like the... kind of like that sewer... Storm drain thing. You know, and that's a big...
That was a lot in the first movie. I kind of stopped paying attention at this point. I'm like, all right, let's get to the good part.
Really?
The chase scenes are, I mean, they're long, but I thought the end chase scene was really good, though. So I'm not hating on him. Like when he was chasing him in the helicopter. Dude, I thought that was really
There was too many chase scenes. And so that was kind of one of my criticisms of the movie, that it began to feel less of a Terminator movie and more of just like a chase, hide and seek type of film. Because there was so much shooting. And I think that's really what ended up bothering me the most towards the end. Because after this first fight scene, Arnold kind of explains, you know, what type of Terminator this is, the metal, how much more advanced it is. And so they obviously know that they can't kill it with bullets. But it just kept being a bullet shootout every time. And that for me was like... It was loud. It was kind of distracting. Like, I was not a fan of that because there were probably 10 different scenes of just like, pew, pew, and just going back and forth, especially at the end when Arnold's shooting
the minigun
and the
grenade launcher
into the cop cars. And I'm like, dude, this was like a 20-minute scene that should have been 2 minutes. And it just was like, this is so much overkill for something that didn't really feel like it played a big role in the movie, the shooting.
That was well, I get what you're saying, but that was a huge part of the movie. All the weaponry, all the gunfire. I mean, that was part of the, I thought, spectacle of the movie. Good or bad. If you liked it, if you didn't, no big deal. But I thought that was an improvement from the first movie. Because I thought the first movie didn't have as much. And I thought this was more of like just kind of like a fireworks show of like all this stuff. But we kind of skipped over because I think maybe I'm a little confused, but I thought Sarah Connor was introduced.
Yeah, I think it was right after the original hunt.
Okay, so let's finish the hunt, the mall sequence. Because after he rescues John, he explains the Cyberdyne system, T101, Model 101. It's living tissue over metal. That's what Arnold is. And then they explain that, like we were saying, the liquid metal prototype is the new enemy. And that John sent Arnold back 35 years ago to protect him, which is pretty cool. And honestly, like from John's perspective, he's just like, what the crap's happening?
Yeah.
And then...
So that's when they call... his house.
Step-parents,
And, you know, Arnold is like, you know, we can't go back there because he's like, I need to go get some stuff. He's like, we can't go back there. He's going to know to find you there. Exactly. So they call, and the dogs bark, and he's like, you know, she sounds kind of weird. You know, something's off. Yeah. And I definitely remember this scene from back watching this when I was a kid. Yeah. So he's talking to the dog, or he's talking to, you know, his stepmom, and it's like something's off, and the dog's barking, and then Arnold takes the phone, and you remember how in the first one he used like that, he could copy anyone's voice. Yeah. And so he uses John's voice, and he's like, hey, you know, what's up? And he's like, what's the dog's name? And he's like, Max. And he's like, okay. He's like, what's wrong with Wolfie? You know, I can hear him barking to the phone. Yeah. To pretty much like test, like they would know what the dog's name is, but the Terminator wouldn't know. And so the Terminator, as the mom, is like, Wolfie's fine, honey. Just come home. Where are you? Yeah. And then the husband, Todd, is like, we need to shut that dog up. And she goes, shink.
Through the milk bottle.
Yeah, through the milk carton.
Right up his nose.
And so that's kind of the big weaponry of the T-1000 is it can use its metal to like turn into knives.
Oh yeah, it's creepy.
Like swords and just stabbing. It's stabbing and it's hooking things.
Gruesome too.
Yeah, and so it's just stabbing everyone.
But really smart by Arnold, by the Terminator to do that and to trick him, because that kind of made me smile. I was like, yeah. All right.
And then he hangs up the phone and he's like, your foster parents are dead. And then that's when he's like, we have to go get my mom.
That's
And I
right.
think that's how they kind of, I think they had introduced her maybe a little bit earlier when she's doing the pull-ups, and they have the doctor kind of walk through with the other doctors explaining like,
she's got schizophrenia.
yeah, schizophrenia. She says that these Terminators came back to kill her, and then she had sex with one, and that got her pregnant. And it's just like, she's a fool. She's crazy. She's locked up in this insane asylum.
Exactly. And I thought, the first time you see her, it's like she's like ripping pull-ups.
Yeah.
She's like,
She
pretty
looks
good
psycho.
shape. She does look psycho. And I thought it was more like that was a good, she played I thought she played the perfect character. I thought. And you don't like that.
Well, no, I think she obviously got stronger.
Yeah.
And I think they kind of fed her into a little bit more of an unhinged role. And I think a lot of it had to do, and maybe this was the hairstyle back then, but I think they played her hair down on purpose.
Yeah,
of
definitely.
Like, you could, barely see her eyes through her hair, and she looks scarier like that.
Yeah, because her son, she's locked up, and her son is the leader of the resistance, and she can't do anything about it. I think we'd all go unhinged at that point. But so after what's it called, Arnold and John deal with the phone call, and they decide to go get her. They go to the scene where she is in the hospital again.
Yeah.
And she is like getting strapped down to go to sleep.
Did you?
And the guy just slurps on her.
That was weird. I don't know why they did that.
It's just like so then when she finally does escape. No, this is before that. So she's in the interrogation and she steals the paperclip.
Yes.
And then she's being strapped down and the guy licks her and you're just like, what the hell?
Well, the other cops came in and they had the picture of Arnold from the mall. And they were like, do you recognize this guy?
Yeah.
It's the same guy who was at the police station that killed 17 police officers in the first one.
And she's
like, no, I don't know. Okay, send her back to her room. She'll go to sleep. Takes the paperclip.
She gets out.
But before that, the T-1000 then goes to the mental hospital. And they kind of show that. Because he shows up before Arnold does.
That's right. Right when she escapes, he shows up.
Right when she escapes. And this is maybe why that licking scene, because it sounded kind of funny. Or not funny. It just sounded really weird. So whenever the T-1000 comes in, it stresses the police officer, so it gets easy access. And he walks in and goes up to the receptionist, and he's like, do you guys have a Sarah Connor here? And the lady goes, she's like, oh, you're just late. Your buddy's already left. And I don't know. The way that I interpreted that in the moment was like, are they like gang raping her?
Oh, jeez.
That sounds like really weird.
I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from now.
Because after the lick scene, I was like, that's a weird thing to put in there. And then, they show all the cops, like all these male cops leaving, like 4 or 5 of them. It's like, oh, you're just late. Your buddy's just left.
Interesting. I didn't interpret it that way. I thought it was just like they just interrogated her and they just put her to sleep.
I know. That could be like a weird...
I mean...
I don't know why I thought that in that moment.
That's the X-rated version.
Yeah.
But...
And then the psychiatrist comes over and he ends up leaving and then tries to go find her his own way, pretty much.
Yeah. And so, she gets out from the cell and she tracks down the guy who licked her face and just clobbers his ass.
Yeah.
And she hit him good. I thought that made the moment even better because he did that to her.
Yeah.
It's like, how many nights has he done that? And what else has he done?
Because he licked her and was like, He was like, Oh, it was fucking nasty.
Yeah, it was creepy. Anyways, so then she basically is trying to escape, right? And so, so the T-1000, he is in the checkerboard floor.
Yeah.
And he morphs into that cop from behind.
Yeah.
The
right
through
cop.
his eye.
Yeah.
Kills the fat cop. And then she gets out. She's sneaking around, and she goes in and hits that one guy, breaks him down.
Well, yeah, she steals the keys from the original guard.
Yeah. And then she hits that guy, and then the psychologist breaks his hand.
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Oh, you just broke my hand." She's like, "There's 251 bones in your body. That's one."
Yeah.
And then got the freaking industrial.
Like root. It said like root cleaner.
Yeah. It's a
like a
bright
blue liquid.
And she's like holding it up to the guy's neck, and like that's how she
holding him hostage pretty much to get entry into the rest of the building.
And yeah, part of me was like, all right.
Oh,
Wouldn't you try to do something?
Once she got to the next I guess gate access, and it was the woman cop and then the two other male guards, and like, we're not gonna let you through, and he's like, just fucking do it, you know, blah blah blah. And so they let her in through, and
she's walking backwards.
Yeah, they like approach her. She's like, don't come near me, lay on the floor, like get on the floor, you over here, open the door, get on the floor. And it's like, they could have taken her.
That's what I thought.
They could have taken her.
And then maybe it's like, all right.
And then she backpedals, and there's a guy waiting behind the corner of the wall, and he gets her, and then she runs off. And then now it's like the hunt again. Yeah. She locks the door.
That scene was pretty intense.
Yeah.
She's like having a... How many times is it like... I mean, the pressure's on to unlock it, and you drop the keys, and then the movie's over.
Yeah. So she locks them, and she's running, and all of a sudden they pan to the hallway where you can barely see the elevator door, and it opens up. And then Arnold walks out with the shotgun, and she's like, "No!" And yeah,
she's like on the ground, like crab walking back.
And that's where like the slow-mo kind of voice pitching.
You didn't like?
I didn't like that,
dude. That was intense.
And so she runs back and then gets tackled by the other doctors that are chasing her, and they're ready to just fucking stick her with drugs and
sedate her.
Yeah,
get her down, and then John's there too. She's like, "Mom." Yeah. And then Arnold goes over and just... This is one of the funniest parts of the movie. He like throws a guy through the wall, and then he throws another guy through the glass door, and then the woman cop comes up to him, and he just pushes her face.
She like punches him, breaks his glasses.
It's like, "Dum," and he's like...
Yeah, and she's knocked out somehow.
Yeah. And then she's still like confused. What's happening? And then like, we have to go, and they run to the elevator. Yeah. And that's when other evil Terminator comes through.
Yeah, and he walks through the gate pretty much, or morphs through the gate.
His gun gets caught. Dink.
Yeah, that was kind of... What was up with that? Was that really important to the show?
I feel like it was a nice touch. Show the realistic nature of the movie.
And then that's when the psychiatrist is there watching. He's like, oh shit, this is real.
That's a good point.
Which I kind of wanted him to die.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like he got spared a little bit.
Yeah. He was pretty pompous asshole type of guy. So this is another chase scene pretty much. They escape through. This was pretty legendary part where they get out of the hospital, and he's driving, literally he's reversing backwards out of the hospital and shooting a shotgun with his other hand. Yeah. And they finally whip around and go. And is this the part where they escape this part? They escape him, right? Mm-hmm. He grows his little like hook hands and like onto the bumper. Yeah. This is the moment where I just thought it was, if you're that close, you got to kill him.
And that's something
like
I have another
one
problem
of these
with.
Through the fucking
it's the T-1000 was like stabbing everyone, no hesitation. And then whenever it gets to the point where it needs to kill and execute the mission, it like becomes selective and it slows down, and it just didn't seem very decisive.
It wasn't realistic.
And I was like, but that just didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Even at the end, when they're in like the steel factory, it's like, why are you walking right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
like you'd be in a full sprint to kill this kid. He's literally the leader of the resistance.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what bothered me a little bit. It was like this thing was unstoppable until it became stoppable. Yeah. And it kind of lost a little bit of plot there for me.
Agreed. But they escape that, and they go pull up to the gas station. Mm-hmm. And this is when he kind of explains. Is this when he explains?
They have like their heart-to-heart.
That's
they're
right.
Like healing each other up.
It got emotional.
Yeah.
And they were driving off, and I think John said or Sarah's like, "Why'd you come get me? It was so dangerous. You shouldn't have done that." He's like, "But I care about you. I wanted to save you." And he's like, She said, "I can take care of myself."
Yeah.
And he started crying. And I was like, "What's wrong with your eyes?"
He's like,
He
I
doesn't
understand your
understand.
emotion. He's like, I understand why you cry.
Oh yeah, at the end.
Yeah, he said that.
But in the beginning, he's like, "Why?" I thought that was a cool moment where he didn't realize what crying was. He says that it's a neural net processor. He can learn like a human. And so they spend the night in the gas station. They go to Enrique in like Mexico or whatever, close to Mexico. Do you think they're in Arizona? What?
No, I knew they were in California.
They're in California, okay,
Yeah.
near the border. And they basically pull up on him, and it's this whole family living on this like ranch.
Yeah.
And they got all this equipment. It's like, what is this guy? Is he like an arms dealer for the cartel?
So whenever they introduced him, I didn't know if that was the guy from the very end of the first one.
Ooh.
You remember when that little kid took the picture of her and she ends up having that conversation with that guy? I don't know if it's the same person. I think this may just be a gap in the timeline.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, she befriended someone and is kind of leaning on him for when she's in a pinch.
Absolutely. And so they walk up and say, "You want tequila?"
Yeah.
And then John's like, "This Uncle Bob." And he picks up the baby, staring at it. And they're like, "Go get the weapons." They go load up the weapons.
Yeah, she's got like a whole artillery freaking thing.
And what's his name? John and Arnold are working on the car in the bottom. And John's like explaining to Arnold all these past boyfriends his mom has had. Like, they're always weird, but there's one really good guy who actually helped me work on cars. And it's at the same time that they're working on a car. So that moment was like where I linked, like, he's looking at him as a father figure already. And then Sarah's like on the bench watching him, and she's like mesmerized about how loyal he is, and because he's a fucking Terminator robot.
Yeah.
And he has no human emotion. He does the job.
And I think John's like teaching him like how to do like a thumbs up.
Yeah,
He's like, you're not supposed to talk like, no one says affirmative. You say,
Hey, okay. I wanted to write that down, what he said. He's like, if someone comes up to you, say, "Eat me."
Yeah. And that's where I was like, fuck you, kid. I don't know. I think they like toned his voice up or something. It was really high pitched. It felt just
I can see
like extra childish.
Yeah. And so she's sitting there watching. She's looking at him. And before this, Arnold's watching these kids play with the guns. And they're like waving around at each other. Give it to me, give it to me. And then he said something. He's like, it's in your nature to destroy yourselves.
Well, John goes, he's like, we're not going to make it, are we? And Arnold's like, you're people, it's in your nature to destroy yourselves.
I thought that was pretty...
It's true.
Pretty powerful.
It is true.
Pretty powerful stuff from Terminator. But then she has the dream. Yeah. She's at the playground again. And she's watching herself.
Yeah.
And I guess that's John. And she's like, "Rah!"
Like, don't have fun. She's like, "Rah, get off the seesaw."
This is honestly one of the coolest scenes for me.
It is dark.
The nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
It's like, pew, the light gets bright. And then,
yeah, and it just blows everything up.
And she's like holding the fence. She's like caught on fire. She's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And then she like turns into a skeleton.
Yeah.
And she's still holding on to it.
Yeah. She
I
wakes
thought that
up
was
and she's like,
intense scene.
And then she goes and gets dressed. She gets her sunglasses on. She's ripped. And she leaves.
I was fired up.
Yeah, John tries to chase after her and she leaves.
And they're like, John's like, well, where's she going? And then it clicks. He's like, oh, Dyson.
Yeah.
Where we didn't talk about Dyson in that much, but Arnold explained it. Miles Dyson, he creates a revolutionary microprocessor in a couple months from their date.
Yeah.
So in a couple months, he's working on it right now, which leads Cyberdyne to dominate military AI. Skynet goes online August 4th, 1997. and becomes self-aware August 29th. And he's like at 2:14 Eastern time.
Yeah.
Which that was just so robotic for him to say that. But humans panic and they try to unplug it. But then the AI immediately sends missiles to Russia. He's like, why is Russia? They're our friends now. He's like, well, they know the counter strike from that's going to kill its enemies, being us, U.S. So
that was kind of a good geopolitical explanation, which is the same thing as the Mission Impossible Final Reckoning that I told you about. The AI launches the missiles to initiate the nuclear war where people just start bombing each other. It's like the same. It's like the same method.
It's scary because, and this is an overall theme of what this movie makes you think about is like, what is AI willing to do to accomplish its goals, right? But then you think like about why did Arnold, like, this was a huge thing that we can talk about. But John, and this is a theme in the whole movie too, it's like John tells him, don't kill humans.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. But then at the same time, like, it would have helped them out so much if he just killed all those cops at the hospital. So it's like, and honestly, like, that confused me a little bit because I'm like, when does AI decide, like, this is your mission goal, but you have these parameters that you can't do to get to it? Like, is it more important to get to the goal no matter how you get to it? Or you got to follow the parameters for it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was too many examples of it going one way and then the other to like see like a consistent pattern with it. But I think it feeds into the overall evolution of the machines to where they do become more human-like and less interested in just killing random humans.
Because he told him, he's like, don't kill anyone. And he pulls up and he shoots everyone on the knee.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, the violence still exists, but it's like the absolutism of life and death. It's like, well, I didn't kill, so life still exists kind of thing. But yeah, that was whenever they break into Dyson, I think. And, well, I don't want to jump too fast.
Let's get into Dyson. He's the computer programmer that's going to create this chip. And so Sarah Connor, she like has this vision of like, wow, a nuke's going to go off and it's because of AI. So now I got to go kill this guy before he even makes it. He's about to make it.
Yeah.
She drives to his house, sets up shop with the sniper rifle and puts the dot on the back of his head. He's just computer programming.
Yeah.
And his kid's like running through the house with the monster truck toy. And it hits him in the foot. And honestly, this might blow your mind right here, this point I'm about to make.
Okay.
Let me get a little red first.
Yeah. Because Dyson, they had from the original Terminator 1, from the plants, you know, after the battle went down, I guess they extracted some of the remnants.
Of the Terminator.
The arm and then that chip.
Yeah, so they have that in the vault.
Mm-hmm.
But he's working on it, and then the kid with the monster truck hits him in the foot. He bends down, the shot goes right over his head.
Breaks the computer.
And he's like freaking out, and then she just unloads that room.
Yeah.
And it creates this whole sequence of things. But I think there's a little like thread of like monster truck, like 18-wheeler trucks, steel plants, all these things that are around this movie. And I think the monster truck hit him in an attempt, or it might not even been a monster truck. It might have been like a worker truck.
Yeah.
These are the jobs that AI is going to kill first. So it's like, this is kind of like a hint at AI is coming for them first. This is kind of, it just is so prevalent in the movie. I just saw that a lot.
Yeah, the opening scene is the front grille of an 18-wheeler.
In both movies. And
they kind of form like in these like near an 18-wheeler and in these like electrical industrial plants.
Is it because they like? It's weird. Maybe it's a coincidence, but it seems like AI.
Hot.
Yeah,
Terminator's getting me hot.
I'm running 100 miles an hour right now. But yeah, so she gets in the house and she's gonna execute him with the pistol, and she's running through the hallway and just shoots him in the back, and he falls down. And you think, like, this is the moment.
Retribution.
But then she has an emotional, like, she couldn't bring herself to kill.
And the kid, you know, here's the other thing. The kid, Dyson's son,
it's like
you know,
holding his dad.
The mom
Don't
is
hurt
like,
him.
son, we need to go brush your teeth. And then the shooting scene happens, and then he's running, and then the wife and the kid run in, and she's like, get on the fucking floor, face down. The kid's like, don't hurt my daddy. And I'm like, he's already shot, Timmy, you know.
You didn't like that?
I didn't like it.
God, I hate her.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was maybe hating too much, but I didn't like that part. And then for her to not kill him, like, I feel like was just kind of a weird. It didn't make a lot of sense. Kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier of her being obviously stronger, Sarah Connor being stronger, but like this emotional roller coaster. Like, you 100%. Think she would be a little bit more stable because she actually knows the future and has already been through this, but she was the least stable person in the entire movie.
Yeah, and I like that. That's kind of like a contrast to the Terminator. Like, she's emotional. She's a human.
Yeah. We
have emotions, and we're not just mission control, mission execute.
Yeah.
Like, Terminator would have done that and not even batted an eye. But she gets emotional, and she couldn't pull herself to kill a human. And I thought that was a big theme, too, in the movie, is like, human life is valuable. Whether or not the AI thinks that is up to that. But, yeah, so John and Arnold get in there, and they explain to Dyson, like, hey, look, you're about to create this microchip that's going to create AI that's going to eventually kill all humanity. It's going to nuke Russia, and then Russia's going to nuke us, and it's going to create a world war pretty much. Please don't do that. And then he's like, all right, I believe that.
It's like, we got to burn everything, get rid of everything.
Yeah, well, she also said, he said, you're judging me on things I haven't even done yet. And then Sarah says, men like you built the hydrogen bomb. You think you're all creative, but all you make is death.
Yeah, she went on a tangent.
Yeah.
And that's when John was like, Mom, like, stop.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be more constructive here. I was like, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like that scene right there. And so he agrees to go destroy everything.
But he also seemed aware enough to be like, oh, shit. Like, it wasn't like he was like, oh, my God. Like,
well, yeah, because
oh, that's
Arnold
what happened. Yeah, he cut his arm and showed him that he was a machine. And he recognized the arm because that's what they had in the vault. And that was like his ding, ding, ding moment. Okay, this does exist. This is real. Now I have to kind of listen to what they say, and we got to get rid of this technology.
Yeah, and I mean, because whether or not, like, if he didn't want to do it, I mean, he had no choice, pretty much.
Yeah, they were going to kill him probably either way.
Yeah, so they get to the HQ.
Yep.
And he's like, "Hey, this friend's from out of town." He's like, "There's a rule against that. You can't do that." And then they're like, pointed at him. I mean, what else are they going to do?
Another one of the scenes that just kind of seemed like, of course, they can't get past the 80-year-old security guard, and then they lock him up in the bathroom, and then the other security guard is like, you can't leave the desk like that. He walks in, sees hooked up, and then they do the silent alarm, and then all the keypads are locked off, so they're kind of stuck.
And this is a huge scene, HQ scene. Dyson.
Yeah, this was like the beginning of the end of the movie. It felt like.
Yeah, Cyberdyne Corporation or something like that. So what ends up happening, he explains, he's like, okay, so I have one key. We need the other key that's locked to open the vault. And so the key won't work for the vault to get the other key. John hooks up his ATM hacker, which is like, dang, dude. I mean, it was cool how that happened, but at the same time, yeah, is that really realistic that you can hack open that thing with an ATM hacker that a little kid made?
Yeah, I guess.
Anyways, they get it open, and then basically they go to the deal and they grab it, they turn it, and then grab the hand and the chip, and they're like, all right, let's get out of here. Or he's like, we got Cyberdyne by the balls.
Yeah.
Like that part. That was good. And then this point, they're setting up the detonation,
Mm-hmm.
explode everything, and then the cops show up. Arnold gets out the minigun. And so this is a moment where I got confused because I thought he was going to kill them all. And I understood it. I was like, if the mission is to stop AI, like, honestly, these people's lives, they're casual. So I thought he was going against his command.
Well, and he's walking up. He's like, it's like, oh my God, the cops are coming up. He's like, I'll handle it. And I think John was like, kind of looked at him.
Don't kill anyone.
Yeah, don't kill them. And then he just ends up spraying the cars with a minigun, and then the, grenade launcher, and they just all go behind this little hill. Yeah. And then as soon as he's done shooting, they start shooting. It's just like, okay, and that was like a 10-minute scene. I was like, this just really felt unnecessary, but whatever.
Yeah, and that was a big distinction between Arnold versus the evil Terminator. Yeah. He wasn't willing to kill human life. So for what it's worth, whether or not, I don't really believe that. But I guess that's what he was programmed to do. I don't trust AI, so I think he would have killed him. And honestly, I would have understood that if he would have killed him. But because it would have made the plan much safer. Yeah. Because one bullet goes through there, kills John Connor, it's all over. Yeah. It's like, wouldn't you want to just wipe everyone out, get everyone out?
One would think.
But I guess he was programmed not to. But anyway, so what's his name? Dyson's sitting there. He's loading everything up. I'm like, we got to go. And then the cops bust in the room. And then they slow-mo.
Kill him.
Yeah, and he's like barely breathing. And they're firing at Sarah Connor. They eventually get out, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, they get out. And then he's holding the detonator above the, I guess it's like a pressure-weighted switch where he drops it. He's like, and they come around the corner. He's like, I don't know how long I can hold this. And they're like, go! And then he's like, and drops it.
Yeah. And you get that explosion from like 10 different cuts.
Yeah. James Cameron's just having one.
Yeah.
And then,
it kind of gets a little fuzzy there for me at the end.
So they get in the police car. And the evil Terminator pulls up in his bike. Yeah. Before the explosion, I think he knows it's going to happen or whatever, but he rides his bike through the second story and catches onto the helicopter. Yeah. And morphs up into it, and then he's like, get out. Yeah. And the guy's like, all right.
He just throws him over pretty much.
And then he's following them in the helicopter, and they're in the police, like, SWAT vehicle. Mm-hmm. They get on the highway. And I liked this scene. You said you didn't like it, but I thought it was cool. Like, it looked like that was an actual helicopter following the truck. Like, that wasn't anything like CGI. I felt like it was just tailing behind it. And it made sense that if an AI can fly so well, it would be able to go under bridges, like, with no problem. Yeah. And he's just flying it, and he's shooting at the same time. And eventually they get to the steel mill, another industrial labor job. And Arnold gets on top of their car. They crash the car, right? The helicopter crashes.
And I think Sarah gets shot.
Yeah, she gets shot, and they get in, like, the back of a pickup truck. Yeah. And this is another moment where it was just stuck in my mind, like, so Arnold and them take a car from like a truck driver guy. Mm-hmm. They don't kill him. No. The other guy takes it from a truck driver guy, and he doesn't give a fuck about him. The evil AI just kills another truck driver. Yeah. So I thought that was a huge theme in this movie, especially like with they're saying AI is going to take their jobs first. But so then they do another chase, and I'm kind of getting tired by the chases.
Yeah, because at this point it's just like it's this. You've seen the same scene 10 times. Yeah. Of like, they just get away. And then now they go a little bit longer. And then they just get away and they go a little bit longer. And you're kind of like...
That was the whole end of the movie.
Yeah. It felt really redundant. I don't know why they just kept going on. I mean, I guess they really wanted to turn it into this huge action-packed explosions, bullets, running away, cool car chasing. I get it. And so then they get to the end, and the T-1000 gets like hit with all this water. And
Or I
like
think
that
it's gas.
and it freezes it.
Yeah.
And then it breaks apart. And I literally thought when I was watching, I was like, oh, it's over.
Me too.
And so they get it apart, it crumbles to the ground, and they're like, okay, we got it. And then they just kind of sit there and watch it, and it heats back up, and the metal starts gelling back together, and they just keep watching it. Like, we don't have much time.
Not much time.
They just keep watching it, and they finally get the mom out of the car and start stumbling away, and like the chase is back on again.
Yeah, and then basically she eventually is like, all right, John, just go. She's like, go down here. Like, I'm going to lower you down here.
Yeah.
And then John gets down. He's like, all right, come on, Mom. And she's like, no, go.
Yeah, she like takes the shotgun.
She wanted to like send him away and try to like slow the Terminator down.
Yeah, and so that's when the Terminator and the T-1000 have another kind of fight scene.
Yeah.
And they're just beating each other up, and then he puts Arnold pretty much against the wall and is smashing him with that thing.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, this may be...
Well, dude, you're forgetting the first fight one where he sticks his hand in the big gear and he's stuck.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets out.
And
he
pretty much rips his own arm off.
And he like comes up, and the evil Terminator's like got the deal right next to her face. She's like, call John now.
But she just keeps blasting with the shotgun.
Dude, that's after this scene. Because he's got her posted up here in the head with his spiky thing.
Yeah.
Telling him to call John. And she's like, fuck you. And then he's about to kill her or something. And then Terminator comes back and slices him in half.
Yeah.
With the deal. And then they get into that fight where he's slamming his head against the deal.
Yeah.
And he like his light goes out.
Yeah.
He stabs him and the red light goes out in his eye.
Yeah.
And I guess he regenerated somehow.
Yeah,
it was
and
like
that
alternate power source.
Yeah, and I didn't really like that as much either, because there wasn't an alternate power source that appeared. Like, it's not like it got plugged in or something and or like leaned up against like an outlet and
Yeah, what do you think?
It just like kind of rebooted, and I was like, if you were gonna kill him, there should have been some other type of intervention to get him back, which I think would have been a good opportunity for John to find him
and do
like,
something.
Plug him into something.
That
would
cool.
have been a better ending rather than just and he's like takes the spike out of his back.
Yeah.
And
Were you a little happy when you saw the red light come back?
Yeah, I was. I couldn't remember how it was gonna go, but at this point in the movie, honestly,
You're done.
I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, this thing has to fucking end already. And
I was a little tired.
And so then what also I didn't like, I think it was before that, the T-1000, I think when it was fighting Sarah, it waves its finger. It's like, no.
What?
And I was like, what? Like, this is when the emotion was getting too much in there. And so then at that point, they kind of show that, piping hot, molten lava area, and
she shoots him to death.
She shoots him or he shoots him?
And then she shoots him like 4 times. Then she's like, click, and she's out of ammo. And he's like about to fall over, and he's like,
yeah.
And then he comes out of nowhere with the grenade launcher.
Yeah, she like ducks, and then she turns around, I think, to grab John, and sees him like riding up on this like gear in like a sniper position. It's like, get down. And it like, for some reason, this one like blows it like in half, and it couldn't recover from that one.
And it tips over.
And this is probably my biggest bug of the movie. Probably the least favorite thing in the movie. The bad Terminator falls into the lava, and it has like this...
Dude, I thought this was the best
devil,
moment.
demonic...
Yeah.
Like shrieking ghouls, all the faces of the people that it kind of morphed into.
Yeah.
That didn't make a lot of sense to me.
You didn't like that? Or you just didn't make sense?
I just kept thinking of it as a machine, and I thought it was like, this is not we're now like
Yeah.
kind of creeping into something different.
Well,
I didn't like that.
okay. I thought that was really cool. I liked that because it felt like it was evil and it was demonic. The evil Terminator.
It isn't.
But it is. It's trying to kill humanity.
Yeah, but it's a robot, right? It's a metal.
It's a Terminator robot, yeah.
I don't know. I just that wasn't what the movie was about, though.
I think that's the whole movie. It's the AI is trying to kill the guy who built the processor to save humanity. So it's humanity versus evil AI. And he dies and he screams like a demon. And then it's all the faces of the people he killed. And it's like, yeah, we got him. Because it is good versus evil.
It is, but I don't know. I didn't like that part.
Fair enough.
And then they're all kind of staring over the lava, and they're like, "Oh, it's done."
Yeah.
And then they throw in the processor, the chip.
And the chip was chipped. Did you notice that?
It was chipped.
So, well, then he goes, he's like, I need a vacation.
Yeah.
And he's
I
starting
need a
to
vacation from watching this movie.
And so then he's like, or John's like, that's everything, right? That's all of it, all the, remnants of this evil
Yeah.
Terminator. He's like, there's one more chip. It's me. Lower me into the lava.
Yeah, like points like his forehead.
Yeah. John's like, no.
You can live with us.
You're my dad.
Yeah, and I was just like, shut up, you whiny little baby.
And I like this part of the movie, though, where he's just like lowering himself down, doing the right
And it's
thing.
cut to John, cut to Sarah, cut to the lava, cut to John, cut to Sarah. And he hasn't even moved like an inch.
And he's like, lower me. And John's like, no. And then she's like, zzz.
Yeah, just presses a button.
Yeah.
He's just kind of holding on. And then it was the end.
He burned up. And she said something at the end. She said, if a machine can learn the value of human life, maybe we can too.
Yeah, what do you think from that?
I thought it was nice. A nice little ending on the movie because Arnold seemingly became more human throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Whether or not you could say that he's human, it felt like he was good and had humanity. If he wasn't human, he's obviously not human, but he had that human goodness of doing the right thing. And I thought that was a huge theme of the movie. So I liked it. I liked the movie. I'd give it a 8 out of 10.
I'm going to go 6 out of 10.
We flip-flopped our scores.
Yeah, I thought the first one was just better.
Funny.
Even though it was obviously older and the CGI was different and the effects were different.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed the plot a lot better
Sure.
than the first one. There was obviously a lot of overlap, even with some of the big phrases, because I think whenever Arnold rescued her the first time, he said, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yeah, he said that.
And that
in
was the
this
same
movie.
thing that Agent Reese said. So I thought that was nice to kind of see a little bit of some overlap, but yeah, it kind of lost me a little bit. I think it was too long.
Yeah.
I think the gun scenes were a little too much.
I wonder too if James Cameron can go back, if he would have just made this movie first, because I felt like the first one did okay and kind of gave him the runway to build a bigger movie with more of a budget. This movie was much longer, much more expensive, and but you liked the first one a lot, so I feel like
the first one.
a lot of people probably do too. Leave a comment of which one you liked more, 1 or 2. And yeah, I think, to be honest, I think maybe our attention spans have gone down because it was a long one.
Yeah.
It was a little bit. I watched it in chunks, to be honest. I watched like 45 minutes like a week or 2 ago, and then I finished it last night.
Yeah. I
And
think I
had to
watched
take
like
some
the
breaks.
first hour 30, took like a 2-hour break, and then came back to watch the finishing. And I think after they put in the lava, I turned it off. I was like, I'm done with the movie. I don't know.
I mean, that was the end.
It was the end.
Yeah. You missed the quote, but
That's all right.
it's okay. Yeah, good movie.
I'd say the themes are really similar. kind of what we talked about already. And yeah, it's a good movie. I think this was certainly the more popular one out of the first one, because I had seen this probably 3 other times in my life leading up to the rewatchable we did this week.
Agreed.
And I know there's like still 2 more movies with it, and I probably won't watch them, honestly.
You don't think we should finish the series?
I mean,
I'm actually more excited for this 3rd one.
I think it's Terminator Salvation or something.
I think.
And I think that's the one with Christian Bale, where he's like really playing John Connor.
So they have a lot of time in between that. Yeah, it was an interesting movie. I thought we got a lot more information on the history of Cyberdyne and the Terminator and the genesis of it. What was your favorite scene in the movie?
Favorite scene?
Favorite moment?
Man. I don't know. You got yours?
I got 2. I really liked the scene where she is like watching him and she's thinking about if he was John's father and how easy that would make things, and then she has that dream, and then the nuclear bomb hits.
Yeah.
That was a really good scene. And then I also like the scene at the end where they throw him in the lava, and then he has the screaming demons.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I like the scene with the 2 bodybuilder guys that come over.
Oh, yeah.
And he grabs him by the head. He's like, ah!
He's like, who's the dork now? You call him a dipshit?
Yeah. Did you call moi?
Yeah. I didn't like that.
And then he goes to execute him. And he misses.
Yeah.
It's like, don't kill him.
I'd say my favorite scene, maybe the phone call with the foster parents.
That was a good scene.
Like, I remembered that scene a lot, with the milk and killing the dad and, you know, the luring, like trying to lure him back in, and then being smart enough to realize that, you know, it's over with, it's done.
Mm-hmm. I like that one. That was good.
And then I think the other big scene is, you know, Arnold with the rose bouquet and the shotgun hidden, I think, and he's stepping on the roses as he's walking. He's got good walking mechanics.
Yeah.
Cody would like it. It's good.
Good
go to function. But yeah, I'd say that scene probably is probably my favorite there.
Cool. Yeah. Leave a comment, leave a like what you liked about the movie, and we'll be back for more.
Got a big one next week.
We got a big episode next week.
The biggest to date. It'll be up there. It'll be up there.
I feel like we've got a firecracker of a guest coming up. A lot of politics, a lot of controversial stuff, a lot of helpful things, and honestly, a lot of the truth people need to hear.
The truth. The truth will set you free.
Yeah.
All right.
Good episode.